The world can be a harsh place to live sometimes, especially for those who are small, blind, or bad at swimming. From regeneration to walking on water, these animals know how to survive in the wild. Most creatures don't have the luxury of air conditioning or readily available drinking water, but they do have some bizarre skills to help them out in the nastiest places on the planet. Here are 7 animals who are serious about survival. The number 7 spot goes to the caracal sheep. Think you put on weight in all the wrong places? Some breeds of sheep store fat in their tails. The caracal may be the oldest domesticated sheep. They roamed ancient Babylonian temples over 3,000 years ago. They've only survived that long because they have a sac in their tail filled with fat. Whenever food is scarce, the caracal get all their nutrition straight from their tail. What a diet! Number 6, the kangaroo rat. Humans can survive without water for up to a week, but in the dry, hot deserts that are home to the kangaroo rat, we wouldn't even last a few days. The kangaroo rat gets by just fine without drinking a single drop of water, sometimes for their entire lifetime. To survive, this little beast makes use of the water produced by its own body through oxidizing food. It also has super kidneys that work to keep all its water in its body rather than tinkling it out. Number 5, the American alligator. These tough reptiles survived what the dinosaurs couldn't. When it gets too cold, these alligators have the ability to slow down their body processes. They don't even waste energy on food digestion. They stop feeding altogether when the temperature drops to 23 degrees. To survive colder conditions, they submerge themselves in the water, leaving only their nostrils out. When the water turns to ice and traps their body, they're still able to breathe. And there are other animals who don't breathe in the way you'd expect them to, which brings us to number 4, the Borneo frog. This rare frog lives in the cold, fast rivers of Kalimantan, Borneo. Unlike its other frog relatives, it has no lungs. Instead, it does all of its breathing entirely through its skin. Hey, it's a pretty handy trick. Number 3, the green basilisk lizard. Dubbed the Jesus lizard, the basilisk can sprint on the water. When fleeing from a predator, the lizard can run as fast as 1.5 meters per second before gravity takes over and the basilisk sinks. Luckily, the basilisk is an excellent swimmer and can stay underwater for up to 30 minutes. Don't hold your breath waiting for him to resurface. Number 2 is the elephant. Earth's biggest land animals can hear with their feet. Elephants have sensory receptors on their feet that can detect underground vibrations. These receptors allow them to hear storms as far away as 240 kilometers. This ability also helps elephants make long-distance calls to their herd to warn them about danger, or to alert others about the location of food or water when times are tough. And finally, the number 1 spot goes to flatworms. As a kid, you may have cut an earthworm in half to get 2 worms. Well, you cut the wrong worm. Flatworms are the ones that can do that trick. Not only can they regenerate body parts when needed, but their new heads also retain all the old memories. So, if you happen to decapitate a flatworm, it won't be too fond of you when its head grows back. When you think of the world's strongest animals, what comes to mind? Elephants towing cars? Or bodybuilding kangaroos? What about leaf-carrying ants? Not so much? Well, keep an open mind. For our list, being the strongest isn't just about how much weight you can lift, it's about how much you can lift relative to your weight. With that being said, let's take a look at nature's 10 strongest animals and see which ones surprise you the most. Starting us off at number 10 is the eagle. There's a reason these high-flying creatures are a symbol of power. They have powerful feet and sharp talons that allow them to snatch up prey that weigh 4 times as much as they do. Their diet includes animals much larger than themselves, such as foxes, deer, and wildcats. How do these birds keep such a slim figure? Number 9 is the green anaconda. These snakes can grow to almost 10 meters long and weigh up to 227 kilograms. And if they ever ask to hug you, you might want to pass. Anacondas coil their heavy body around their prey and squeeze their victims to death with the force of 1 kilogram per square centimeter. And then they swallow them whole. Number 8, grizzly bears. See that big hump on their backs? Yeah, that's all muscle, and it provides them with tremendous strength for digging, moving rocks and trees, and mauling their prey. They're extremely protective, so don't ever go near their cubs. They can be up to 5 times stronger than humans, and their bite is so strong it could crush a bowling ball. Number 7, the ox. Oxen are working animals that can carry 1.5 times their weight. Their ability to bear heavy loads for extended periods of time has made them the perfect candidate for plowing fields and pulling carts. Coming in at number 6 is the tiger. Tigers are the strongest members of the cat family. They can carry double their body weight, and one swipe of their paw is powerful enough to smash a cow's skull. On top of that, they have mighty jaws with long teeth designed for tearing flesh. So as beautiful as they may be, your best bet is to keep your distance. Number 5, the gorilla. Gorillas don't need to hit the gym. They build their muscles naturally through climbing and knuckle walking. And that workout seems to pay off more than any crazy routine we can come up with. An adult male gorilla is 15 to 20 times stronger than a human and can lift up to 10 times their own body weight. Trampling in at number 4 is the African bush elephant, the largest living animals on Earth. These guys can carry up to 9,000 kilograms, which is the equivalent of 130 adult human beings. Containing up to 40,000 muscles, their trunk alone can lift up to 200 kilograms and can rip trees right out of the ground. Number 3, the leafcutter ant. You knew we'd get back to these insects eventually. At just 2.1 centimeters long, they're able to carry 50 times their body weight. Their immensely strong jaws allow them to carry leaves across long distances back to their nests, where they use the foliage as a sort of fertilizer. Number 2 is the rhinoceros beetle. Without us even saying anything, you can just tell these creatures are tough. They can carry objects that are 850 times their weight. That's like a human being being able to pull 6 double-decker buses. Scientists believe they use this strength to push through heavy junk on the jungle floor and dig their way to safety. And finally, at number 1 is the dung beetle. Remember how your parents told you to eat your vegetables if you wanted to grow big and strong? Well, these little critters have been eating poop their whole lives, and they're doing just fine. Ranging between 1 millimeter and 4 centimeters in length, they can lift objects that are 1,141 times heavier than their body weight. These beetles use their horns to battle for potential mates, and it's believed that the constant competition is what builds up their strength.
Those roving eyes are looking for the next deadly fight. Meet the strongest fist fighter on the planet, the mantis shrimp. With a force of 73 kilograms, this lethal crustacean's punch can rip human fingers to the bone. But it's not the only killer on the reef. Its close cousin and similarly violent crustacean, the pistol shrimp, fires its bubble gun and makes a sound so loud it can kill small marine animals. So, if it came to a deciding match between these murderous cousins, who would win?
I honestly don't know.
Which contender has the better weapon? Which has the better defense? What secret advantages does each of these shrimps have? Are you on the edge of your seat yet? Here's a blow-by-blow account of this rumble in the reef.
Let them fight.
The mantis shrimp is equipped with a club-like front leg that can deliver punches at speeds of 23 meters per second. That's as fast as a .22 caliber bullet slicing through the air. The punch is so powerful, it can smash open mollusk and crab shells and dismember the shellfish. The shock wave accompanying this deadly punch doubles its impact and makes the surrounding water as hot as the sun. The pistol shrimp brings a gun bigger than its body to this fistfight. The pincers on the pistol shrimp's gun claw rip through the water at 100 kilometers per hour, and they fit into each other like a garlic press. This produces a superheated water jet that makes the surrounding water 4 times hotter than molten lava. But that's not what kills the pistol shrimp's prey. The water jet carries a bubble that bursts and creates a noise that is so loud it can stun or kill other creatures. During World War II, trigger-happy colonies of pistol shrimps were loud enough to mess up the U.S. Navy's interpretation of sonar signals. light, sound, and fury to match. But who's got the size advantage? The pistol shrimp ranges from 3 to 5 centimeters long and weighs about 25 grams. But at 18 centimeters long, mantis shrimps are among the larger shrimp varieties. They weigh 0.6 kilograms. That's as much as a basketball. So the mantis shrimp would have a clear size advantage over the puny pistol shrimp, like a heavyweight boxer taking on a flyweight. But the pistol shrimp has a clever accomplice who helps it aim and add years to its life. The goby fish makes its home in holes that the pistol shrimp blasts into rocks. In return, the fish warns the shrimp of approaching dangers. On the other hand, the mantis shrimp is a territorial loner that could be easy for the pistol shrimp goby tag team to gang up on. Unless they do battle with a spear and a smasher mantis. You heard that right. There are two kinds of mantis shrimps. The smashers wield the power punches. The spears nag and stab with sharp, barbed tips on their front legs. Stabbing is about 4 times slower than punching, but all that weaponry could be a bit too much for the agile goby fish and its pistol-swinging friend. The reason why the pistol shrimp needs a friendly fish as a lookout reveals another fatal drawback. This crazy critter is shooting blind. The pistol shrimp needs to stay in physical contact with the goby so the fish can guide it. And though their team coordination must be pretty impressive, they would be in trouble when facing the mantis shrimp's infrared vision. The mantis shrimp has 2 protruding eyes that operate independently of each other. They enjoy a broad field of vision with excellent depth perception, and they see many more colors than we do. They can even see some kinds of cancer cells. And as if this super trooper needs another advantage, the mantis shrimp has a unique armor. Coils of chitin fiber on its shell act as a shock absorber and protect it from sudden impacts. So while our gun-toting little pistol shrimp could put up a fierce fight, it's likely no match for the mantis shrimp's size, armor, and incredible vision. It's a good thing that mantis and pistol shrimps are not known to acknowledge, let alone pick fights with each other. But being small and being strong are not mutually exclusive. Just look at these ants. They don't seem to care that they're only a fraction of the size of their meals. Ants are everywhere. They're so common that we often don't think twice about them, unless they're pillaging our picnic basket, of course. Though ants seem ordinary, they're extraordinary. A field ant's neck joint can withstand up to 5,000 times its weight. That's kind of like an adult human holding a Boeing 747. So what makes ants so strong? How are they able to build bridges? And how do they communicate to make it happen? There are about 12,000 known species of ants. While most of them are in the tropics, they live all over the world. There are so many ants that their total weight is about the same as all the humans on Earth. That statistic might make your skin crawl, but ants are an integral part of our planet's health. They pollinate, disperse seeds, and help circulate nutrients through the soil. Without them, many ecosystems would collapse. But what makes ants crazy creatures is their strength, especially their powerful necks. A research team at Ohio State University glued some ants to a CD-sized centrifuge at their necks. I'm not sure I like where this is going. As the centrifuge spun, it applied force to their necks. It wasn't until the centrifuge reached forces of 3,400 to 5,000 times their body weight that the ants' bodies separated from their heads and flew off the centrifuge. This doesn't prove that all ants can carry 5,000 times their weight, but it does show how strong their necks are under extreme force. Other factors help them do such heavy lifting. Ants' muscles have a large cross-sectional area. This makes them incredibly thick for their body sizes and distributes their weight better. If you compare their strength to their body weights, ants can produce more force than larger creatures. It gives them the ability to carry things as heavy as baby birds or lizards. Ants even inspired a new branch of science called microbiotics that blends biology with engineering. And army ants are architects too. Despite having minuscule brains and not much cognitive ability, They can build bridges. When a traveling colony reaches a gap, the first ant slows down. It gets trampled by the ants behind it and freezes in place, creating the first step across the gap. Then the next ant reaching the gap slows down, gets trampled, and freezes. This process continues until the ants bridge the gap, allowing the rest of the colony to walk safely across. Now there's teamwork. Oddly enough, army ants don't always build bridges that would minimize the distance the colony has to travel. Instead, they may choose to go around the gap. Now there's an idea. When they're not traveling, ants typically live in social colonies of hundreds to thousands of individuals. They prefer to live in hills or underground and carve complex tunnels and chambers. Because they rely so heavily on their colony, communication is key. They use chemical signals or pheromones to tell each other things like, "Follow me to food," or "Attack the intruder." They tend to walk in a single file line, so they follow a trail of pheromones each ant releases as they walk. The pheromones also help them recognize each other and distinguish their social classes. The queen's pheromone is unique to her. While field ants are relatively harmless to humans, bullet ants are another story. Find out why this particular ant has a reputation for having the most painful insect sting in the world, and how to survive it. What if I told you the strongest animal in the world isn't gorillas, bears, or even elephants? If you think I'm messing with you, you're wrong. Believe it or not, the strongest animal in the world is the dung beetle. Yes, I'm talking about the insect that rolls around big balls of poop.
Oh, that's gross.
But there's more to this unique creature than its affinity for excrement.
That stinks.
So why is poop so important to them? What makes them so strong? And how do they play a vital role in the ecosystem? There are about 6,000 species of dung beetles. They vary in color from glossy black to metallic green. Some males have long, distinctive horns, kind of like deer antlers, that they use to battle other dung beetles. When competing for lady beetles, these horny males engage in horn-to-horn pushing matches as deer do. Non-horned males use more thoughtful strategies like digging side tunnels or burrows to evade aggressive males guarding females. These bugs are not rare and live on every continent except Antarctica. Well, who can blame them there? Brr! One of the many places they live is in Egypt. Also known as scarabs, the ancient Egyptians revered dung beetles and believed they kept the earth revolving. They associate scarabs with Khepri, the god of the rising sun in Egyptian mythology. This is why you'll often see dung beetles adorning ancient Egyptian pottery and jewelry. In dung beetle societies, as in ant and bee colonies, each insect has a specific role that serves an essential purpose. Dung beetles belong to the roller, tunneler, or dweller category. The rollers are in charge of transporting dung and stashing large balls of it in locations away from their main dung pile. Why keep manure, you ask? Because this is their main source of food. Yummy!
When you're hungry, everything looks tasty.
These buried caches allow the colony to breed and feed. Tunnelers are in charge of creating the complex underground pathways through which the beetles travel and live. The dwellers remain with the primary dung pile and are responsible for breeding. It's the rollers that are known for their Herculean strength. A dung beetle can move over 1,100 times its body weight. For a creature that's an average of 1.3 to 6.3 centimeters long and weighs around 100 grams, that is quite a feat. They're about 100 times stronger than ants, another insect that lifts items much larger than its wee self. That's like an average-sized human pulling 2 fully loaded 18-wheel trucks. Researchers think this mind-boggling strength evolved from male beetles' need to compete for female dung beetles.
Have you been working out?
Some.
Imagine if pulling 2 18-wheelers was a part of human courting rituals. I know I'd be impressed. It turns out these massive dung balls are multifunctional. The beetles use them to keep cool in hot environments like African savannas. While rolling these balls in the blazing sun, they'll sit on the top of the dung ball, getting themselves off the scalding ground. Plus, the moisture from the dung ball helps decrease their body temperature. They're the first insect to utilize this ingenuity. Insects are invertebrates and don't have bones. Regardless, there are dung beetle fossils preserved in their dung, giving us a record of them existing about 230 million years ago.
Holy moly.
But there's more to these crazy creatures than meets the eye. These humble poop eaters are known as the unsung heroes of the East African ecosystem. Their main role, particularly for the roller group, is cleaning up and moving waste out of their environment. This reduces the number of harmful pests like parasitic worms and bush flies, which can kill cattle and destroy ecosystems. The poop balls they roll often contain seeds that drop along their path and enable plant growth. Burying their poop helps fertilize the soil, and the tunnelers' complex pathways aerate it. These activities help maintain a healthy ecosystem. So if you see a dung beetle, maybe you should give it a round of applause instead of recoiling. If this story about an incredibly strong animal inspires you, maybe you'd be interested in learning about the ever-industrious ant. Find out how this ingenious bug builds bridges on another episode. Being the strongest animal on the planet and helping the environment is what dung beetles do, and that's what makes them crazy creatures.